So Ian is the founder and CTO of Robotics, and a US-based, fast-growing startup company in robotic gaming system. In summer of 2010, Ian and his co-founder Adam were chosen for the Tech Star program. Through this program, they created their first product, Zephyr, an app-driven robotic ball, launched in December 2011. Zephyr has evolved into a full robotic gaming system, and they got 10 million funding within 2 years. So it's a very fast startup company. So I just hand now to Ian to give you a quick talk on his presentation.
Ian, are you ready?
I'm ready, thanks. So yeah, like Jack said, I'm one of the two co-founders of Robotics. We founded the company a couple of years ago. And basically, I think my background and the way we started this company is pretty non-traditional. So I thought I would just do a presentation on just kind of my history, what my background is, and how we started this company. We hadn't started, neither of us had really started a company before, and we don't have business backgrounds, we have engineering backgrounds. So yeah, I'll jump into it. So if you go to the next slide, just give you, like I said, short background, talk about Robotics, talk about our product, Sphero, and then for questions. So yeah, pretty much all I did in high school and middle school was build robots all day, and there wasn't anything else to do. Next slide. So yeah, I built lots of robots, and as you can see in the bottom right, I actually built a ball robot that was maybe 14. And the idea was it's solar powered, and it'll charge up for a while. If the solar cell's pointed towards the sun, when it moves, it'll move a little bit further because it's getting more energy. Whereas if it's randomly turned around, the solar cell isn't facing towards the sun, it won't move as far. So over the course of days, this ball will eventually go towards the sun, and that's no intelligence really at all. You can go to the next slide. So when I was 18, I went to, a year before, I decided I should start studying English and things like that. So I could get into college. I got into New Mexico. So I did that for 3.5 years, studying electrical engineering, computer science. And in the summers, I would intern at Los Alamos National Laboratory. I did that for 6.5 years. So I started a web design company in 2006 while I worked part-time at this company, Road Narrows Robotics, just to sort of keep my engineering fresh. And basically until I started Robotics 2 years ago, just that period of starting my web design company, I just filled up a lot of credit cards, made a lot of mistakes. A lot of people, or a couple people, didn't pay me a large amount for my web work that I did for several months of work, so it was definitely a learning experience. And I got kind of tired of building websites for other people. It's kind of hard to have clients sometimes when you have a company. So I wanted to do something more electronics related and do something I was passionate about. I mean, I like web design, but it was just such a pain building sites for other people. So basically at the end of 2009, I came up with this idea at this robotics company. I was playing with my new iPhone and just thought that the power of this phone, I could play all these cool apps and check my email and play games devices. So that was the initial idea. Go to the next slide. And in January of 2010, my dad was going to go traveling in India, and he was going to help me out with the plane ticket. But I asked him, instead of helping me out with the plane ticket, could he invest and give me a couple $1,000s to help start this new company idea I had called Robotics. And I applied to Techstars Boston, and I don't know if everybody knows what Techstars is, but it's a seed incubator program. So they take a small percentage of your company, and in exchange, they give you a certain, like for our year, it was $6,000 per founder, and they hook you up with, it's a 3-month program, and they introduce you to mentors, investors, and they have all these different sessions over the 3 months, just sort of teaching you how to build your company. So I applied for Techstars Boston, and they thought it was a cool idea. The idea being controlling physical devices with your smartphone over Bluetooth, but they didn't do sole founders, which is, when we did go through Techstars, it was just Adam and I, and I would say 3 people would be a better number than even 2. There's just so much to do. It would be nice to have, it would have been nice to have 3 people, 1 for business and then 2 people for actually doing work, real work and implementation and things like that. So yeah, the idea was use Bluetooth instead of Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi, for instance, you're controlling a Wi-Fi robot, you have to change your internet settings on your phone every time you want to use the robot. Bluetooth, it's all automatic. We wanted our devices to be open. So no matter what device it was, like even if we made like a power strip, we wanted to make sure it had some sort of interface that people could connect to it. So like if somebody was making like Christmas lights or something, wanted some crazy like Christmas light show, they could control these power outlets with our power strip. So any device we made, we wanted it to be open. Let's go to the next slide. So what we did, so I met Adam in the very end of December of 2009, and in January I had a place up in the mountains and I was snowboarding 4 days a week, but I was still talking to people, and people thought this company idea was good. So February 1st I got really serious and didn't stopped renting my place in the mountain and just like did this company almost full time. But in the meantime, we developed this dev board, which had Bluetooth on it, had inputs, outputs, expansion ports, and this was sort of the bootstrap idea of our company. So we would create this dev board, and we'd build 20 of them, and we'd sell them, and then use that money to make 40 of them and 80 of them, and just keep working our way up. Yeah, it's 9:30 here. Friday night, so cheers. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, background was robotics, went to school for electrical engineering, computer science, and beginning of 2010, applied for all these seed incubator programs, Techstars, Green Ventures, Y Combinator, and Boom Startup. I think I was talking a little bit about Techstars. And I guess we can just go to the next slide. So yeah, we got into Techstars, Adam and I, with this demo board that dev board that we had developed, and we had put a bunch of. I think what really got us in is all these demo videos that we made using our dev board, which was we opened my garage door with it. I put a remote starter in my car and was able to like start it with an Android app and like roll down the windows and stuff. We put it on a little toy tank and drove it around. And I think actually the garage door one was when we talked to Techstars. We really want to know that you can listen to feedback and really like think about it on your own and then sit back on it. So I think one of the things that got us in is during one of our initial calls with Techstars, Nicole there had mentioned something about, well, can you use the technology if I was running? Because I don't want to take keys with me, but I always have my phone because I'm listening to my iPod. Can I like run up to my garage and like open the door with my phone? And we were like, yeah, I guess you could do that. So then we're like, oh shit, we need to make a demo video on this. So literally like that night, in 3 hours, we like put this like cheesy demo video of us like driving up in the car and like opening my garage door with it. We emailed her the video the next day, and I think that's the sort of stuff that got us into Techstars. So once we were accepted, that was like April, and they gave us like 3 weeks to basically move to Boulder. We were only an hour away, which made it easy for us. Some of the other companies were from New York and all over the US. Boulder is right in the middle of the US, so in Colorado. So it wasn't too hard, but yeah, we had to pretty much like find an apartment and move to Boulder in 3 weeks. And they gave us $12,000 in seed capital, $6,000 per founder. And on May 10th of 2010, we started Techstars. So let's see, go to the next slide. So once we got into Techstars, we originally wanted to do sort of this platform idea of making it easy for other companies to make their products phone controlled. And so sort of building our own hardware sounded really scary. So sort of the feedback from all the mentors immediately, once we got into Techstars, was launching a company with a platform is really hard. It's more of a business play. And since myself and my co-founder are engineers and not business people, I think especially thought it would be hard for us, but I think it's hard for any company. It's easier to launch a company with a product that proves your platform, and then you can be the platform. So we hadn't really thought about end products that much, so we just started thinking about different things we could build, and came up with literally like hundreds of different things. You probably go to the next slide. And out of these like hundreds of different things over the first month that we thought about, we came up with a few. We basically had 4. There was like the modern day clapper, where it was just sort of a 3-way switch that would go on your wall, and you could like turn your lights on and off with a switch, or you could open your Android or iOS app and turn the lights on and off that way. But it seemed too easy. The barrier to entry for that product is too low. It seems like other companies could do it easy. The other one that a lot of people liked is hotel door locks. So you wouldn't have to go to the reception desk. You would essentially just go to your hotel, open the app. It would give you a map of the hotel, tell you where your room was. You could like go up to the door, swipe yourself in, and you'd look back at your phone and it would say, 10% off at the restaurant downstairs and things like that. So you could do targeted advertising. But a lot of people liked that, but again, it's just a big business play. We would have had to make deals with Marriott and Hilton and all those other companies. And it just seemed really boring. And the other idea was robot balls, which is totally random. We came up with that idea at 3 in the morning, and nobody knew what we were talking about. So one day, like a week, we just had all these meetings and be like, this robot ball that you like put on the table and you can control it. People, all the mentors coming in were just like totally confused. So we bought like this little toy ball at a toy store, and we found that just like, even though it didn't do anything, that just having the ball and putting it on the table in meetings and just being like, pretend you control this ball with your phone, and people just sort of got it a little bit better before we had any prototypes. So yeah, that's what we picked, robot ball. You can go to the next slide, maybe just skip down. And I don't know if that video will play. Is it playing?
Yeah, it does about.
Okay.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working. Yeah.
So basically that ball was just our first prototype that we had 3D printed and kind of whipped up in a couple weeks. It barely worked, but it was enough to sort of prove the concept.